Chelsea Kenyon here. I just wanted to share with you a few of the tips and techniques that I've gathered over the last few years. I watch a lot of webinars and I do a lot of research and watch tutorials on YouTube from some of the top network marketers in our time. So I've compiled a list of their most effective techniques because, you know, sometimes you'll watch these tutorials or their webinars and they take a good 20-30 minutes to lead up to it, and then they finally tell you what this great thing is that's going to help you explode your business. So I kind of took those key points from various network marketing gurus and kind of put them in this one place. So I've got my notes here and I'm going to be telling you all about these tips and techniques. Grab a pen and paper, pause it right now if you need to, go grab a pen and paper because you are going to want to take notes, and you're probably going to want to watch this a couple times so that you can fully get everything. I'm going to be moving really fast because there's a lot of information. First of all, you need to figure out what's the most effective way for you to establish contact. Everybody's comfortable in different ways, doing different things. I prefer Facebook right now. So private messaging is really great for me. Some people prefer Instagram, so that would be a direct message on Instagram. You can also do text or even a phone call if that's more comfortable for you, or even an email if you need to. So after you've figured out how you're going to establish contact, you want to figure out a list of 50 people that you think would be great for this business. And then as you go down your list to contact them, you are going to go to their profile on Facebook, or if you're not familiar with them. If you're already familiar with who they are and what they do, then you're already one step ahead. If it's somebody that you're not really sure, you know, maybe somebody that you just met or a new friend on Facebook, then you're going to want to go to their profile on social media and just kind of get a feel for who they are. You know, if they're like a teacher, then you want to, you know, make sure that everything that you're saying is going to, excuse me, is going to be for, you know, a teacher. You don't want to explain the business on a different level when they would be, you know, they're looking for ways that as a teacher, they can fit this business into their schedule, so on and so forth. If they're a college student, you're going to approach them a little bit differently as well. Or if they're a business professional or a stay-at-home mom, you know, you just want to kind of get an idea of who they are before you contact them. That way, when you're engaging in a conversation, you know exactly what to say. Okay, so investigate before you communicate. Once you have your person ready and you're going to send that private message, the first thing you want to do is always ask them for a moment of their time. Okay, most people don't want to be hammered just, you know, with these business opportunities and host a party for me and look at this, look at that. So if you just take a second and ask them, just ask them for a moment of their time, that makes a huge, huge difference. It really just sets the tone for the conversation, relaxes everybody, and it's just really quick and easy. Just a little one-liner, straight to them. Can you do me a favor? Or would it be okay if I showed you something? Or do you have a couple of minutes to chat with me? Or can I show you something real quick? And then if you want to, if you are, you know, wanting to get answers right away, maybe you're short on time, you know, you can definitely add in that sense of urgency and add into that, I'm running out the door, but can you do me a favor real quick? Or I have to run to pick up my kids from school in a few minutes, but I was wondering if you could take a look at something for me real quick. So when somebody gets that message, they're more likely to respond to you because you've kind of put that sense of urgency in there, but that's not necessary. And then right after that, after they respond with, sure, I'll take a look at it, or yes, of course, I would love to do you a favor, which, you know, most people do love to help other people out. So you're most likely going to get a positive response when you ask them for a moment of their time. You're going to follow that in 2 to 3 sentences with a compliment and also giving them a little bit of confidence. So let me explain that. A compliment, you're going to say something like, you know, I see all these beautiful selfies that you take, and I just think that, you know, you just really have a great look. Or you could say, you know what, you always post these really interesting things on Facebook, and I notice that you get a lot of likes and comments, and, you know, people really pay attention to what you have to say. You know, you're a very trustworthy source of information for people. You know, this is where that investigate before you communicate part comes in handy, because you're really going to get a feel for who they are before you even connect with them. So you're going to compliment them, then you're going to give them the confidence. And that's basically just telling them that you think that they would really do well with this and why. just something that you've picked up from how they post on Facebook or what they post on Instagram, or if it's a one-on-one conversation, you know, things that you know about their personality, definitely bring that in and let them know that those qualities would be great for this business. You know, you don't ever want to sit there and just list the aspects of the business, you know, just like a bullet pointed list, you know. You want to tell them why they would be amazing at it. Then after you get those 2 sentences in there, you're going to always end with a question, because that leaves it open-ended for them to know that they need to respond to you. So you can end it with, am I crazy? Or how does that sound? Or wouldn't that be amazing? Or doesn't that sound perfect for you? Something along those lines. Okay, so if they say yes, and they're like, yeah, give me some more information, I never thought of that. Sure, what all does this entail? You'd be surprised at how many people aren't paying attention. And so you just assume that everybody in the world knows what you do and what you're all about. And sometimes, you know, you message somebody, and due to Facebook, you know, filtering people's feeds and whatnot, they might not really be seeing what you're doing. So you know, they may genuinely say, yeah, what is it exactly that you do? You know, they might really not know. Okay, so if they're asking for more information, you're going to want to give them chunks of information, only 2 to 3 sentences, very, very brief, and you're always going to end it with a question. And you can't, you know, if it's somebody who you want to tailor the information to their situation. So if it's somebody that you know could use some help financially, you know, you kind of want to focus the information that you provide as far as they're going to make money really fast, and it's basically unlimited, and you can make as much money as you want with it. If it's somebody who, you know, doesn't necessarily need the money, but it would be a fun hobby for them, you know, you're just going to focus on the self-development and the parties and the meeting people, and it's fun to play with makeup all day. That sort of thing. If you don't know what their needs are, ask, you know, throw it out there. What would you do with an extra $300 a month? Maybe they'll say, I don't need an extra $300 a month. You know, so then you know, okay, now we're going to focus on the fun part of it, the self-development, the fun part of, you know, getting to play with makeup and meet, you know, all kinds of cool people. So you can just ask. And if they're really kind of vague with you, you can just say, you know what, if you did come on board, you know, what would be the #1 thing that you would want to get out of joining a business like this? So don't be afraid to ask. Also talk about all of the benefits and what they're going to get out of it. You know, I think so many times people get stuck on selling the kit, you know, join my team and get all this stuff. And, you know, no. Focus on what they are going to get out of owning their own business. You know, that financial freedom, the self-development, growing as a person, challenging yourself. Those are better long-term goals rather than just getting some product in your hands, and you know what I mean? So really focus on selling the opportunity. It's $99 to join your own business, and then eventually, as you talk, they're going to ask you, well, what do I get for that $99? And then of course, tell them, but don't lead with that. Don't start out with, hey, join my team and look at everything that you're going to get. Because in the long run, you're just going to get somebody joining the team just for the kit. So you really want to be able to find people that really want to do this as a long-term business idea. Okay, also, share the experience from your perspective. Drop in sentences like, what I love about having my own business is, or what I have learned since I became a presenter is, you know, stuff like that. So that way you're not just, again, sharing a bullet point list of the benefits of the business and exactly step by step what we do. You're telling about your personal experience, and that is a lot more effective than a long list of all the things that we have, okay? So now, of course, you are going to get people that say no right off the bat. They're just no. And the best way to deal with the no is what we call the feel, felt, found method. Okay, first you're going to let them know, validate it. Let them know that you understand how they feel. Okay, then felt. You know what? I felt the same way. Or I had somebody on my team who felt the same way. You know, let them know that they're not alone in feeling that way. Okay, and then found. But here's what I found, or here's what me and my team member found together. Okay, so let's say they said, no, I don't have time. And then you say, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way when I started my business. But here's what I found out. Even though I felt like I didn't really have a lot of time, the great thing about network marketing is that it really fits into all those little nooks and crannies of your life. So I was really worried about having to sit down for hours and hours and work my business. But in reality, I have my phone with me. So when I take my son to football practice, I can be playing around on Instagram and Facebook and posting pictures. During my morning coffee, instead of watching the news, I can take some time and make some money. So you'd be surprised at how you can actually fit a business like this into your existing schedule. Along those lines, you know what I mean? So you're going to tell them, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way, but here's what I found out. And then you're going to relate it to something. And if that wasn't your experience, whatever their concern is, if that wasn't your experience, relate it to somebody else on the team or somebody else that you know in the business that had that experience. And that really takes the defensiveness away, and it really just, like I said, it validates them and just makes everything a lot more relaxed when you're talking to them. Okay, now when you end the conversation, because there are people that just no, not interested, always end with an open invitation to get back with you. Something like, if your situation changes, please feel free to get back with me. I know you don't feel like you have the money or the time or, know enough friends, whatever their concern was, to make this work right now, but I would still love to have you join us. Okay, so you left it open. So if things change, if they have a change in finances or a change in their time, change in their schedule, you planted that little seed, and so they might reach out to you later and say, you know what, actually, I think I am ready for this. Okay. Also, before you even begin reaching out to anybody, take a second, take a deep breath, and focus on just all the positive. Okay. If you go into it with kind of a desperate feeling or like a, oh, this is never going to work kind of feeling, that's going to come through. Whether you are typing or on the phone, if you are coming across that way, it is going to be sensed. So make sure that you just take a minute, that you kind of tune into your positive feelings and go into it, just to have fun, just to relax and give them some information, and that it's a very positive and great thing that you're sharing this opportunity with somebody. Also, keep track of every contact you make, whether it's just a quick name, date, result of conversation, boom. Now you have this whole thing that you can follow up with later. So when you have some downtime, you can go back and maybe contact some of those people that were, some people will say, contact me later, whatever. So you have a nice set of notes to take care of. Also, be available. Don't sit there and send messages with a sense of urgency and then don't respond for 6 hours because you had to go to work. You know what I mean? Be available, because you will get some responses immediately. Also, have your information ready. So if you're going to be using information off of a website, or you're going to be using graphics, have it already downloaded onto your phone in a folder, on a folder in the computer, have those websites open, because there's nothing worse than somebody's wanting information and it's exciting and you have to go and find the information and you got to locate this and locate that. Yeah, of course, during the course of a conversation that could happen anyways, because they may ask a question that you don't know the answer to. But try to have a few little things ready so that when they do ask a question, bam, you've got the answer right then and there. Another thing too is that you always want to have a fresh audience. So always be adding friends on Facebook, adding people on Instagram. Even if your Facebook gets filled up, then go to Instagram. If your Instagram gets filled up, go back to Facebook, go to Pinterest, go to Tumblr, whatever it is. Just always be getting fresh people. And if you max out your friends list on any of the social media platforms, consider going back through and maybe removing some of those people. Because you just constantly want fresh faces, constantly want a fresh audience to see your stuff. Okay. Another thing that I'm going to be covering in another video that I would recommend is there's different personality color types. There's greens, reds, yellows, and blues. And if you can kind of get a grasp on what kind of personality somebody has, it's going to make you a lot more effective in how you are going to talk to them and how you're going to present the information. Because, for instance, a green person is going to want details, this kind of thing. Whereas, the reds and yellows aren't really so much worried about the details. So don't give them details because it's going to be too much for them right off the bat, stuff like that. So I definitely recommend that you watch that video or just do some research online. And then also go for the no. You are going to get no's. It's just the nature of the business. Not everybody is going to want to do what you do. I'm a hairdresser, and I know if I went up to somebody and said, hey, you want to be a hairdresser? they're probably not going to want to. And if my friend came up to me and said, hey, do you want to be a teacher? No, I don't. You know what I mean? I know that I definitely do not want to be a school teacher. So, you know, you are going to get the no's, but the good thing is that statistics and all that's in research show that the more no's you get, the closer you are to a yes. So you might have to get 5 no's before you get that yes. Okay, but if you don't get those no's, then you're not going to get that yes. So go for the no. Don't be afraid of the no. And no does not mean no, never, you're a horrible person, go away. It just means no, not right now. That's all it means. And it's not a negative thing. It's just them letting you know that they are not ready for this right now. And that's okay. It just doesn't mean anything. It's not a negative reflection on you in any way. It just means that they're not ready. Okay, so just to recap, investigate before you communicate. Ask if it's okay to talk with them. Include a sense of urgency if you wish. Compliment them. Explain why you think they would be amazing. Always end at each little chunk with a question. And you're going to provide information in little bits and pieces. And you're going to tailor the information to their situation and needs. You're going to make sure that you share a lot of stories, what you love about it, how it's changed your life. And you're going to use the feel, felt, found method to address concerns. You're going to take notes about all of your conversations, who you talk to, when you talk to them, and you're going to have your information ready to go on your phone or computer or whatever you're using, okay? And you're going to constantly refresh your audience, okay? So that is all my recruiting tips and techniques, all in a nutshell. And I think that if you sat down and started using these techniques right now, just sending out 5 messages, 5 texts, whatever your thing is. I bet if you send out 5, even if you get 5 no's, that's okay because you're still closer to a yes. But I think that you're going to be really surprised at the kind of response that you can get and the way that you can really get people talking to you and listening to what you have to say instead of just brushing you off. Oh, just another pitch, you know, that sort of thing. You're really going to get people talking with using these techniques, okay? So go give it a try and let me know how it goes, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.